Hey, Moon Apple here. I'm making a little video because the cool people at La Hacienda Creative, which is a sound studio and tech innovation lab here in Montreal, reached out to me and sent me some of their virtual instruments from a lineup of sound tools called MNTRA and asked me to do a little demo with them. It uses an in-house sampling sound engine called MNDALA 2. I just thought I would show you my process of how I was able to get some really cool textures and sounds and a full-blown musical demo in under 30 minutes. Personally, I really enjoy the ethos of the MNTRA instruments. They're samples of instruments and soundscapes from all over the world, and I think that can bring a really cool cultural depth and unique expansion to one's sound palette. First, I'll just quickly show how I use the MNDALA 2 sound engine, and at the end of this video, there will be a demo showing a live performance using these virtual instruments with a MIDI controller and a MIDI keyboard. Let's hop right in. Okay, so I'm using Ableton, but the MNTRA instruments will work with any DAW of your choice. I'll just quickly explain my session here. I have one piano track that is recording an improvisation I do on piano, and the rest of the instruments are the MNTRA ones. And so these are all MIDI tracks. I'll just show you this first MIDI track, which I have MNDALA on, and there we go. So this is the MNDALA 2 engine. If you go first to the library tab here, you'll see all the sample packs that are available. And each of them have their own special aesthetic. Like for instance, the Hanoi instrument has a lot of sounds from northern Vietnam. For this particular track, I used Tenebrae. Tenebrae has a lot of really cool textures and ambient manipulations and evolutions that you can do to the sound, and it really fit my particular aesthetic. It's really organic, and I can find it being really useful when composing for things like film and video games, which I used to do. So after you choose your instrument, I'll just go into that here called Perform. So you can actually just go straight to noodling around and playing the instrument, and Perform provides a really cool visualization of what's happening. They already give you 3 variables per preset of what can be manipulated within that particular preset sound. And that's really nice because, you can just go straight to playing on your MIDI controller or even just like your computer keyboard. Here you'll see all the different presets. I ended up using this preset called End Times. I always like to keep the default presets, so when I make changes to the preset, I'll save it as a different one that has my own particular settings. And you can do that by pressing this plus here and saving it as a new preset. Back to the Perform tab, you'll see that there are 3 variables here, X, Y, and Z, and X is for texture, Y is for volume, and Z is for grain bounce. These variables will change depending on what preset you choose. And if you look here in Ableton, it's already automatically mapped, which is quite nice. I'm using as a MIDI controller an APC4 by Akai. And what's also nice about that is these 3 variables are just automatically mapped to the knobs on my MIDI controller. So I basically don't really have to do anything. It's just opening up the virtual instrument and it's already all pre-mapped. Alternatively, you can map via Ableton to whichever MIDI controller knob or fader as you like. So if we just take a look at X, the texture, I'll play a bit and I'll demonstrate what manipulating the texture does. So this is the sound not manipulated with X, Y, and Z at 0%. And if I slowly move the X up, you can hear the sound evolve, and along with it is the visual representation. And if I do Y is just the volume, and it has a different visual representation. And then Z is the grain bounce. So it's really cool. I can just, play it and get some really cool results. you know, create some tone and some climactic musicality. Really excellent for ambient music and film music. And that's basically it. And then here, this little keyboard shows, you know, what you're playing on the keyboard if you have a keyboard.